What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream from the Scalar Learning channel. And we just had the SAT last Saturday, which was pretty crazy. I took it as well, and I have to say, I've heard different things on the message boards, but was the toughest math I've ever seen. That's what I think. I don't think everybody agrees with me. I think some people thought it was medium, some people thought it was hard, easy. I mean, it was definitely a variety of questions, but I thought they threw curveballs that I haven't seen before, and it was tough. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that means it's a gentle curve, but we'll see in a couple weeks. All right, let's get into ACT math today, and we're continuing the work from the prep book, Manhattan Prep, the 5-pound book. And in this case, we're not doing it timed. We're doing these nice and slow for the folks that have requested these videos, so they don't want the speedy versions where I'm taking it in real time under test conditions. So we're gonna go through it and let's do it. And of course, it's the ACT, so we should have a calculator up and running in case we need it. Probably won't need it too much, but let's just see. For the algebra. All right, first one, what is b? So we got this nice equation. Let's isolate b. First, I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides, and I got negative, let's make it 6 over, I'm going to put that minus just transferred as a negative down to the 3b, equals 10 minus 15 is negative 5. Multiply both sides by negative 3b. Okay. Now, why did I decide to put the negative down there? Honestly, it didn't even matter. It's arbitrary. I don't know why I did now that I think about it. But it happens to work out nicely because the negatives cancel out. These cancel out. So I have 6 equals. Negative 5 times negative 3 is 15b. And then we're going to divide both sides by 15. And we've got our answer. 6 over 15, but we can reduce that, divide both sides up top and bottom by 3. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So we got 2/5 is b. And that's E. Next, the expression blank blank is equivalent to which of the following expressions below. So what we're going to do is first I'm going to square this. Order of operations, we square this parenthesis first before multiplying. So it's 3p cubed times, don't forget to square that guy as well, 4. And then these multiply each other. So that's when it's outside of parentheses. They multiply 4p to the 4th. Then as these interact, these two multiply each other. 3 times 4 is 12. And then when terms multiply the exponents, add. So that's 12p to the 7th. Next, for this one, what is the value of z? So again, I got a equation that I want to solve. Now my advice is if I've got fractions, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to multiply everything by 6. Okay. So I've got 6 times 2. Why did I choose 6, by the way? I chose 6 because it's the least common multiple of 3 and 2. So you'll see what's about to happen in a second. So this multiplies there. 6 times 6 is 36 equals 6 times 3 over 2. Now what happens is this crosses off and that turns into a 3. This crosses off and that turns into a 2, right? Just like reducing fractions. And we got 2 times 2z equals 4z plus 36 equals 3 times 3, which is 9. Now we got a much easier thing to work with. Subtract 36 from both sides. 4z equals negative 27, right? 36 minus 9 is 27, whatever. Divide both sides by 4. Divide both sides by 4. Z equals, is that an answer? That's an answer. Improper, don't have to change it. We're good. Okay, next. 4, if y equals negative 4, what is the value of this? All right, well, let's plug in negative 4 and see what happens. So I got negative 4 minus 4 squared over y is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8 squared over negative 4. Negative 8 squared is 64 over negative 4, and that's like 64 divided by negative 4, which is negative 16. Moving on to 5. Assume that z does not equal 0. They make that concession because they don't want to put you in a position where the denominator goes to 0 and we get something crazy. So we're assuming it can't go to 0. Now we just simplify like normal. 9 over 6, we can divide top and bottom by 3, and it becomes 3 over 2. And then with the exponents, when they're in fraction form like this, they subtract to simplify. So it's like 6 minus 2, which becomes 3/2 z to the 4th. This guy. Following expression is equivalent to which of the following? Okay, the way I'm going to simplify this is I'm going to first distribute the negative. So I've got w minus x minus y times z. Then I'm going to distribute this guy like this because it's multiplying everything in there like that, like that, like that. See how I go inside out? Where it's a common principle how we want to operate. Then this becomes wz minus xz minus yz. That's out because it doesn't have a minus. Wz. It's this one. All right, next, if z equal, let me just make sure I didn't make a mistake. Yeah, okay. If z equals 6, let's plug it in. So I have 4 minus 6 squared over 2 minus 6. 6 squared, of course, is 36. So 4 minus 36 is negative 32. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Negative 32 over negative 4 equals positive 8. Full test question with you. Bari, what do you mean by that? Let me know. Okay, let's go on to numero 8. The equation is true when z equals which of the following values? Again, we're going to solve. We're going to solve for z. So first I'm going to distribute this negative inside, right? So it's 3z equals 3z minus z over 2. Don't forget that's a minus 5 because the negative distributes equals 10. Let's add 5 to both sides. 3z minus z over 2 equals 15. Now let's, it's a z. Now let's multiply everything by 2 because I don't want that fraction. So this becomes 6z minus z equals 30. This becomes 6z minus z is 5z equals 30. Divide by 5, divide by 5, and z equals 6. That's it. All right, next, 5z plus 7 equals that. What does z equal? All right, let's isolate again. So I'm going to choose to, it doesn't matter which way we go, but I'm going to choose to subtract 5z and go that way. I have 7 equals 7z minus 2. Add 2 to both sides. 7z equals, 7 plus 2 is 9. Divide by 7. Z equals 9 over 7. Next, distribute the 4. Boom, boom. 4p minus 8 equals 17 minus p. Let's add p to both sides. Simultaneously, I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Sometimes I like to do it in one step. Save room. 4p plus p equals 5p equals 17 plus 8 is 25. Divide both sides by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Oops. All right, next we have 11. A spring that has stretched x centimeters from its normal position stores energy E in joules according to the equation blank. By how many centimeters approximately, x is the centimeters, must the spring be stretched from its normal position for it to store 0.53 joules of energy, aka plug and chug. 0.53 is my E times 2.4 x squared, and we solve for x squared. Let's divide both sides by 2.4. Okay, we definitely need a calculator for this. And then I get x squared equals 0.53. 2.4 is 2.2208, I guess. Doesn't matter anyways. I'm going to square root both sides, and that's how we get our x value. And we can square root this exactly. 0.469. 0.47. Good. Rounded. Nice. Next, the relationship between temperature. Let me see something. Okay. The relationship between temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, F, and units Kelvin is given by this. Which of the following readings in Kelvin is equivalent to a Fahrenheit reading of 77, aka plug in 77 for Fahrenheit. That's all they're saying. These equations I often tell people it's a great thing when you see one because usually it's just some sort of plugging. So it's not going to be too difficult. Just have to do some arithmetic carefully, and you got a calculator, so it's not a big deal. 30. See how I plugged in 77 for that, and then we just evaluate this. So 77 minus 32 is 45, right? Yep. Times 5/9. This I can do without a calculator. Divided by 9, that's 5, and that's 1. So it's 25 plus 273.15. So I'll add 25 to this, and I get 15892. 298.15. That's it. Is that right? I guess it's right. Must be right. I don't know why, but for some reason I thought Calvin was the other way. But hey, I'm following the equation, so it is what it is. It must be right. 12. Okay. If 11y minus 13 equals blank, what is y? Same deal. We're going to isolate y, so I'm going to subtract 11y from both sides. And I get negative 13 equals 17 minus 11 is 6y plus 3. I'm going to subtract 3. I got 6y equals negative 16. Divide by 6, divide by 6. Y equals, divide both of these by 2 to simplify. It's negative 8 over 3. And that's it. Done. Next, we have a few more because we're only going to 17. 14. A over B equals 1/2. B over C equals 8. C equals 4. What is the value of A? Okay, let's plug and chug a little bit here. How should I do this? So C equals 4. So I know that B over 4 equals 8, right? I just plugged this in for this. That means, of course, to solve for B, multiply both sides by 4. B equals 32. So now if I know B equals 32, A over B, aka A over 32 equals 1/2. I can easily, I can cross multiply if I want. I can easily tell A has to be 16. Because if this is going to equal 1/2, A must be 16 out of 32 is a half. So that's it. Okay. 15. What is the value of Y? So I'm going to distribute. 6 times 14 is 84 minus 6Y equals 8 minus 84 minus 84. Negative 6y equals negative 76. Divide both sides by negative 6. So, of course, we're going to be positive if you want. So it's going to be y equals, it doesn't go in exactly. Divide the top and bottom by 2. 76. 38 over 3. Positive. Okay, 2 more. Variables x, y, and z are integers such that x, y, z is greater than 0. Okay, so either they're all positive or 2 are negative, and that's it. X, y equals 30. X over z equal, okay, whatever. This is just like the other one. I'm going to take the value that I know, which is 9, and go backwards. So I know it's x over 9, because z is 9, equals 2/3. Again, I can cross multiply. 3x equals 18. Divide by 3. And I get x equals 6. If x equals 6, then 6 times y equals 30. Well, y must equal, because I divide both sides by 6, y must, of course, equal 5. And that's it. I don't even know why they put this in here. And last question, 17. We got the All-Stars earned an average of 42 points during their last 5 games. What must they score in their next game in order for the average of all 6 games to be 45 points? So they did 42 times 5 is the total points they got, because that's the average of 42. So we want that total number. Plus, what do they score in their 6th game, which is whatever x is, to have an average for all 6 games to be 45. Now, let me explain how I've set this up. I'm saying all their points totaled up, including this. So these are the first 5 games. Now, it doesn't matter that I don't know the individual scores, but I know that they added up to a total of 210. Because if they average out to 42, that means the number divided by 5 is 42. The total number divided by 5 is 42. Therefore, the 42 times 5 gets me back to the total number. All right? Then this is my 6th game, and we're taking the average of 6 games, hence why I have a 6 on the bottom, and this new average equals 45. Now we solve for x. Multiply both sides by 6. Meanwhile, also multiply this. Why not? So it's 210 plus x, and we got rid of the 6 like this, equals 6 times that is 240 plus 30 is 270. Subtract 210, subtract 210. Get x equals 60. And there we go. All right, now let's check our answers. Again, if you're new to these streams, I haven't seen these questions before, I'm taking it for the first time, which is, like I say over and over, part of the fun, and also I think part of the value of these streams is that you're watching me problem solve and analyze in real time. But it also means I have to check my answers and make sure I didn't make any mistakes. And if I did, no big deal. I'll just explain what happened. All right, number what? Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Sorry. Here we go. EHAG. BGBJ. BGBJ 9. AJBH. AJBH. 13 is CHBG. And 17 is E. All right, great. They're all good. We are ready to go. Let me see. Thanks, bro, for these streams. Since these are resubs, you help many people who are in the future later have the need to practice. Yeah, you're very welcome. International applies financial in the U.S. universities. You know, I don't know about the financial aid piece for international students. I actually don't know. I haven't researched it. That makes, I can see that as making sense as U.S. applicants getting preference for financial aid, possibly. But I have no idea if that's true. Vitamin J, how good is a 25 on the ACT? Oh, it's all relative. I don't know how to answer that. I mean, you can look at where that puts you in terms of a percentile. I think if you're, it just depends on what you're shooting for in terms of schools. Are you shooting for Ivy Leagues? Are you shooting for more like middle tier schools? I believe it's a pretty solid score. It definitely shows a solid level of competency, but again, you have to just adjust your expectations for schools based on that score and what you see on U.S. News and World Report rankings. Okay, that is it, my friends. Thank you so much for joining. And if you're still watching and if you enjoyed this video, University of Florida, we can look it up. You can look up U.S. News and World Report and see what their mean ACT acceptance score is, and you'll get an idea. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please click that like button right now. It helps out the channel tremendously. I'm trying to spread the knowledge and the love for math to more people and more countries and all across the world. So anytime you like and we have more engagement, it helps me out. And also, if you want to leave a question or comment in the comment section below, please don't hesitate to do so. I will get back to you ASAP. I know I got a bunch of messages I need to respond to over the last few days, so I'm going to be on that tonight. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all next time. Take it easy.